morning, everybody, and welcome to Laurel Park for a great day of racing ahead. Preakness 150 Preview Day. We've got the Preakness 150 Preview Day Handicapping Challenge on tap. There's a look at our racetrack. Turf course looking great. On the turf yesterday with 5 turf races. Main track, a little bit of a speed lean possibly yesterday, but the main track fast, turf course firm. We're going to get temps. I think the sun's going to creep out a little bit later. Temps maybe touching about 80 this afternoon. So we're glad you're here today. Alongside, I'm Keith Fusel with Equibase and the Maryland Jockey Club. We've got a great guest on tap for today at the races this morning, Stanley Bavlish. Stanley, thanks for coming out.
Oh, my pleasure. It's an honor.
Yeah, anybody's not familiar with Stanley, you should be if you're in the racing game, especially the tournament game. 2007 NHC National Handicapping Championship champ. Did it right on the first try, right, when you
yes, sir.
qualified.
Sir, I was
also a member of the NHC Hall of Fame. So he's going to supply some of his information. He's not going to give out everything that he's got, but we're going to try to carry you along this 12-race card. We've got 5 stakes. The Federico Tezio, we've got the Weber City Miss. They're both winning. You're in for the races on Preakness Day, the Black Eyed Susan and the Preakness. So, Stanley, to get you started, just tell us a little about yourself and how you got into the racing game.
Yeah, sure, and I tell this story a lot. My brother got me into it. He took me to Monmouth Park for my 16th birthday, and as soon as I got there, I saw a horse named Mary, liked the horse, told my brother Bob, very smart guy, that I was going to bet him. And he said, don't bet him, bet the favorite. Needless to say, the favorite loses, my horse wins. And I learned a life lesson, never bet favorites and never listen to anybody else.
That's true. That's true. You got to stick to your guns in this game. It's going to pay off. Talking about the tournament today, the Handicapping Challenge, the format today, I believe it's over all of the Laurel races, 5 mandatories, a $50 wager, I believe, in each race. So you're going through these tournaments. Is there any kind of strategy or system you stay with, or do you just is it vary on how these tournaments are set up, the formats?
Yeah, and again, it's a little different, obviously, for cash than online tournaments or pick and praise.
Yeah.
And here you're looking for value, and you're looking to build a bankroll. At least that's my strategy.
Yeah.
And if you like a horse, hopefully it's later in the card, and you see where you stand.
Yeah.
You swing for the fences and try to win it, right? Ideally, it'd be the last race, and you go all in, and you're right. And again, it's a little different here because you've got exactas, you've got doubles, you can play, a little bit of each. So again, depending on where you stand, you may have to go to exactas, or you may have to go to doubles to extend the amount of money that you need to win.
Definitely today's format different than the format when you took down the NHC back in 2007. So obviously a different strategy. Some days, I guess, and it all depends on how the card shapes up to you when you're looking at it. Do you go all in early, or do you wait, or are you a little bit patient? So interesting strategies, to say the least. And got a couple other questions. What kind of handicapping tools do you use? You were telling me off camera, you've got varying different tools that you use.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm kind of usually racing form. I'll look at the sheets a little bit. A lot of video work for me. Obviously, I do the charts for Equibase, so I'm watching races. Trips are huge. What do you like to use?
Yeah, again, I've been using Brisnet products probably for 30 years. It was from the old phone days where you had to download and it would go and take you 10, 15 minutes for each race, right? So I use something called Cap Sheet. I use it in coordination with another one that's called Always. These are not, new handicapping things, but they've been very effective for me for years. That's where I start, right? I also use Equine Edge. I've used HTR in the past. I use Thorograph. Like everything that I can get my hands on and just use them all to make a decision, to come up with a consensus, if you will, of what horses, and then once I have the horses lined out, I go to my wife and I ask her.
I was going to ask you about your secret weapon you had told me about.
My secret weapon, she goes and checks the horses. That's why it's great to be at the site. And if they confirm, if her opinion confirms with mine, and we both bet the horse, it's pretty simple.
With the format today, we're going to get into the card real quick. What kind of number do you think? What kind of dollar amount is it going to take to win it?
It's usually in the couple thousand range, right? That's what I would guess. typically that's what it is, maybe from 1,500 to 3,000. And it depends a lot on whether long shots come in, and typically with an exacta allow, like those numbers go up.
Okay.
Right. And again, it all depends if somebody's hitting early. If it's all favorites, it's going to stay low. If it's long shots to begin with, and you see that the numbers are already in the thousands, then you're going to have to adjust your play and go for the fences earlier.
Absolutely, absolutely. Let's put up a little slate here. We're about a month away from Preakness, so everybody, looking forward to this. The last Preakness at the original old hilltop. The building will be taken down, and we're going to have a new facility in a couple years, bright, shiny, and really looking forward to that. Any Preakness memories?
Again, I was here twice.
Okay.
One time it was pouring, and I think it was the year Pat Day won.
Okay.
On a 10-1 shot, if I recall. And again, it's just a wonderful event to be at.
Yeah.
I've been to the Derby twice also, and I've been to Belmont numerous times, seeing the 3 Triple Crown winners, Secretariat, Seattle Slew, and Affirmed.
Okay. Get your tickets. Please join us. Preakness 150 at Pimlico. All right, let's get started into this card. Let's look a little bit. Oh, well, can't forget about Mom's Day at the races. I know you might have heard me in the past if you watched a little bit. Spent a lot of time at the races with my mom. I don't know about you, but great memories. If you can join us out at Pimlico Sunday, May 11th, from 11 to 3. Get your tickets at pimlico.com. All right, race 1. Get this thing started. Early value, pick 5. We're going to roll through this card. We've got 12 races. Starting us off, 5.5 on the turf. It's a firm turf course. The Dahlia, the rail at 52 feet. Everybody stays in. I've got a pick 5 ticket, an early value pick 5 ticket at that 12% takeout. We had a huge payout yesterday, a great pool. And thanks to everybody who played along yesterday. It was a tremendous card. Racing office, Eleanor today, everybody's done such a great job with these fields. We were up over 60% to comparative day last season. Let's keep it rolling today. $45 ticket. That's a little high for me to get you started. 145 in race 1. You've got the entry, Big Wanda and Jay-Z's Last Chance, a little price play. Race 2, 3 deep as well with the 147. Race 3 is a real spread for me. Those are the maidens, so 5.5 on the turf, 1, 2, 3, 5, and 10. Race 4, 4 and 8, and I had to whittle it down. Do I love this single? No, but I'm going to try to get here, and if I do, I'll say with some others, but I'll single Visby. Golden Rocket I like a lot in race number 5 as well. That's a $45 ticket. The opener, Stanley, give me a couple horses you kind of are considering in the tournament.
And again, that's what I'm doing, is trying to narrow it down to 4 horses in each race and check the value and bet accordingly after, again, checking out the horses in the paddock.
Okay.
So again, the 7 horse, 1 off, a long layoff, goes back to turf. The trainer's 26%, second off, showed big speed last. The 5, 2 off, a layoff, back to turf. It's where he won, right? Turf sprint.
Yeah.
The 3 horse off a year, new trainer, new surface, total stab.
Yeah.
And a bullet gate work too.
Yeah. Let's go to a video spotlight first. Talk about Big One, a horse that I have in the mix. Going back to that turf try in debut back in August. It was a good one. Got away at 10-1. Steadied at the start. We're going to watch this a couple times right there. And number 6 just giving up a couple lengths right off the bat. But Big Wanda, she's able to recover, and she comes with a run. Works from that 3-path outward, top of the stretch, past mid-stretch, and really sustains here. She's going to collar the leader in deep stretch. Go away from Aerial Moon, a little bit of a key. We've kind of seen her. Now dive inside, that's right. This was a little bit of a weave run for Big Wanda. She ran well last time, I thought, on the dirt. This is third off of a layoff. This is a horse I think is going to be part of it. There's some speed in here to target. I don't think it's going to be a blazing pace, but I really was encouraged by that debut try. I also like the 5, Jay-Z's Last Chance. 15-1 on the morning line. Going to be bet down a little bit here early. You're seeing a 4, but Georgia Ruiz, a really good turf rider. How much emphasis do you put on certain riders on certain surfaces?
Again, on most cards, what I'm looking for is what have they done lately? So for the last 2 weeks, do they have a positive ROI?
Okay.
Right. So I look at the jockeys, I look at the trainers, and I look at the combinations.
Yeah, I like this Jay-Z's Last Chance. Back with the boys, a little flattening on the synthetic. Going first time here for Scotty Wolfendale. But that run back in Hawthorne, September 24, was good enough for me. Still Stable Currency, the horse that she beat, is now a 3-time winner, has run some decent figs. We'll take a shot. I go 5, 1, 4, 8. Stanley, considering 3, 5, 7, and 10. in race number 1. Let's turn to the second. We've got the fillies and mares going a mile. It's a starter. Scratch the 6. Quick Y. That's early pick 3 wagering. Races 2, 3, and 4. Let's run the stat because Jamie Ness, he's been going pretty good for a while here in Maryland. The whole Mid-Atlantic circuit, he's very tough year in, year out. But she's a rolling stone. This applies to her and Patty Cakes. Ness between March 28th, April 16th. Look at that, 25 for 86, a 29% strike rate, $2 ROI. Eileen Patty Cakes, I think she's second time back in this barn with positional speed, always laughing. Looks like the flow to me. How do you see this race shaping up?
And again, these are races I typically pass. I don't like short fields. Everyone looks the same to me in most of these small races, but I've got the one there as having back class. I'm just wondering whether he's not the same horse. The 4 horse 2 off, improving numbers. The 3 is as good as anyone else. So again, this is probably a pass for me, but those would be the 3 that I'd look at.
Yeah, she's a rolling stone. She's steady, and if Patty Cakes has to hook up and make that early move into always laughing, it could set things up for that grinding style. She's pretty steady. I think the 7 Maximo Madness is another, maybe a little bit of a now horse. She really jumped up and ran big. We'll see if she can pair up that last race. So 1, 3, 4, 5 Stanley. I'm 1, 4, 7, and 3. And again, Stanley's picks no particular order. They're going to go probably in post position order through here, but these are horses he is considering for the handicapping challenge. Turning to race 3. It's our first pick 4 of the day. We do have a scratch. Scratch the 1-8. Great Artist. Early and late pick 4s. We might have 3 of them today. It's a big 12 race card. I probably lost track. But in the third, this is a tricky little field. Maiden special weight 5.5 for the 3 to 6-year-olds. As we say, scratch the 1-8 Great Artist. Eileen Artist Mark. I'm taking a little shot here. Ham Smith moving dirt to turf with these maidens. It's been a pretty good strike rate. Second dam allowance winner sprinting on the turf. Take a shot at a number. What do you like?
Yeah, again, my notes on that are a positive, 2 positive trainer angles. So he's definitely in the hunt for me. Right, the 10 horse is an owner, breeder, trainer with a couple of positive trainer angles, 90-day plus and turf to dirt. The 2 horse has pace, turf to dirt with a positive ROI, and the 9 horse pace, but boy, he's 0 for 20 turf for dirt, and he's 0 for 20 maiden claimer to maiden special.
And Will Karma's in the house. Will he be able to keep up with Built by Kozan, who's really fast from the inside? I know this is a horse that Dan Oman likes. I think Dave Rodman likes it too. And Built by Kozan. You don't think the Kozans is turfs, but there is within this bottom side. They wanted to get this horse on the turf earlier. I think this horse could be tough on the front end.
And definitely he's going to have pace.
No doubt about it. Video spotlight horse. A horse Enzo, the 10, coming in here for Elizabeth Merriman. We can go to that video if we can, guys. This is a video going back to April 27th. Enzo, you see the family. By Great Notion out of the damn ZZ Zoom Zoom. Makes this guy a fool to Woody. We're going to see Woody a little bit later in the King T Leatherberry. This is a guy who's had some issues. You've seen the blinkers go on, a comment of headstrong, the blinkers come off. Do you trust horses, especially when you're in these contests, the deeper closers?
Yeah, again, I think it's all based on pace, right? And turf is not like dirt, right? It's hard to find a speed bias on turf. So one of my angles is just class and close. So if I can find the highest class with the best close, I'm in.
All right. Well, let's turn to race 4. Let's move along here in this 12 race card. 48 minutes until post time here at Preakness 150 Preview Day at Laurel Park. Race 4, claimers. 20 down to 16. These are the 3-year-old fillies. A couple scratches in here. We're going to scratch the 1, Sweet No-No, and the 6, Field of Roses. Another tricky race because Field of Roses, the 6, was going to take a ton of play with Paco Lopez named for Ferry. We're not having her in here today. So where do you go?
Yeah, that's funny because I wrote down legitimate favorite, which is something I don't like to do, right? But he would have to be in the mix. So you look at the 3, and again, just old school angles, right? Claim for 12.5, stepped up to 40, and now he's going back down to 20. So that's a classic trainer move, right? Got to keep him in the mix. The number 5, the drop makes sense. The 11 horse, right? Claimed 3 out of his 4 races. So somebody likes him, right? So again, just in the mix, and I just added the 10. Added the 9 horse. Now that the 6 was out, just to finish up my 4, he's got speed.
Interesting move, ferociousness. I was talking to Dan Oman a little bit earlier. I mean, the numbers, on the buyer figures don't stack up at all. Off a little break, Lasix going on, and a protect move by Jamie Ness. Is that a tell for the 9, ferociousness? I lean a little bit towards Fair Trade. I like the race that she ran last time. You do not have Fair Trade in the mix. Robbie Bales is doing well. Tune to the Moon, who she ran right behind, came back and ran really, really good yesterday against a Bales runner, Double Arrow. I give her a little bit of a shot in there. I do think Can Dude, your 3-horse, is going to be prominent throughout as a very good jockey, trainer, angle. A now horse for me on a proud note as a little bit of a price. I go 8, 4, 7, 11 in race 4. Stanley, 3, 5, 11, and 9 are the ones he is considering. Let's turn to the fifth race. Pick 4. Here we go again. There's big field still. I mean, we still got 9. Scratch the 6 of Fondi, the 7 Pretty Liam, and the 12 Winky Winky Winky. These are fillies and mares. Non-winners of 2 other than. This is a really, really good race. Kind of like stakes type fillies and mares in here. Again, 50-cent pick 4, get involved. We've got the pick 5s for the 12% takeout. You get knocked out there, you jump right back in on these pick 4s, also the rolling pick 3s here at Laurel Park. I had to kind of maneuver around a little bit. I thought Pretty Lean was going to be okay transferring to the turf course. Any stronger leans in race 5?
Well, again, same thing. I said legitimate favorite. Okay. Tried to get on turf twice down in Gulfstream and was washed off.
Yeah.
So again, the 4 looks like he'll be the favorite. There's no knocks on him, no real knocks on him. Again, the 1 horse ships back east, drops back to the turf.
What?
The 3 back to the turf with good numbers, right? And I added the 2. He's got a positive trainer angle.
3-horse, interesting to me. This is a mare, 6-year-old mare that won this condition. Now, be it a New York bred race going back. I think she's going to like getting back to the turf and sprinting on the turf for Jamie Ness. Needs a little bit of pace. I think she's going to get it still and make a little move. Some of that flow comes out with the scratch of Winky, Winky, Winky. Let's look at a video spotlight of the 4 Visby. Justin Nixon. This mare's been really good, too. Lightly raced, carefully managed, but she produces. And she came back from a layoff from October to February down at Tampa in a stake. Gets away a little slow. You can see that. That's really tough to give up. Sure. Going 5.5 on the grass, but she recovers and makes a pretty good run here. 3 to 4 wide around the turn, works out about 5, 6 wide. I like the way Visby finished up with a more alert break. I tell you, she can kind of get involved a little bit sooner. Proven over this racetrack, 2 for 4 with a 2nd place running for Justin Nixon. You got Weston Hamilton up today. Looking at the race now with a scratch of Winky, 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 I think a horse like the 1. Independence Avenue could get in the mix with Delacour. Little stat for that one I've got for you, Stanley. Delacour, 4 for 8 the past few years. First time tag, first time in for a claiming price with these sprinters on the turf. 398 ROI. What are your thoughts on the 1?
Yeah, again, I've got him in the mix, right? It's I don't want to say he's my top choice, but he'd be one of the top 2.
Do you think, do your figures and what you're looking at, do you kind of now predict her or see her towards the front against this group?
Well, hopefully they get a, the only thing you can hope for is a trip, right, on grass especially. So again, forwardly placed, if not closer to the lead, and again, that 1 hole can be problematic.
Yeah, it can be. You've got to be alert coming out of there. I'm hoping with a good break they get a little bit of aggressive, throw her into the mix, because she's got some races on her page, and a good one on the way back against Queen Ali that works for me. I'm going to also toss in Gift of Gab, one of my favorite trainers here when it comes to turf season. Suzanne Tenius does great work. Gift of Gab is a mare that got better as the year went on last year, and she was bringing a little bit more of a finish. I don't know if you've got her in the mix, but I think she's a player within this group.
Well, again, a note, 26%, 90 days plus.
Yeah, you got to like that. Got to like that. 1-3-4-2 for Stanley. I'm 4-3-1-5 in a highly competitive group. Fillies and mares, 2 other than on the grass. We're going to go 5.5. Let's go to the 6th. Jackpot super high 5 time. We're back to the main track. Another good race, 2 other than the Fillies and mares. 6 furlongs. Scratch the 6. Profittunity. It was going to be a bigger number in today's 6 race. Again, jackpot super high 5 in race 6 today. We hold sway because we've got more than 7 betting interest. I kind of like Spencerian. You do too. I'm looking for maybe a little bit of a forward move from the speed department for her to lay a little bit closer than recent that last race?
Again, 5 for 15 at Laurel, 2 for 7 at the distance. He's got the back numbers. Okay. Hot trainer, positive trainer angle.
Okay, the 4, a horse that you do not have in the mix, is going to be our video spotlight horse. That is Sheila's War Cloud. Again, Justin Nixon. He's loaded today. He's got some horses with some big chances, and she was ready to go right off the break, laid off from mid-December to mid-March. Goes down to Colonial on a track that was a little bit difficult to close on, but she did get a setup here and was able to grind it out through the last 3/16 of a mile to prevail in this handicap. I think she's tough right back here at Laurel.
And again, my view of the race, it's more wide open than just the favorite. If the favorite can win, right, there's no real knocks on them.
Yep.
But I'd be looking longer than a 2-to-1 shot.
You see that, right? 5-2, and probably down off of that because of the scratch of Profittunity. Your top value on here is a 7, Devil Pays in Gold at a 10-to-1 morning, but expecting that to come down a little bit.
Nice race off the layoff, a positive trainer and jockey angle, right? And again, just much better value. The 3 horse has been hanging on the money lately. He fits in the race, but too many seconds for me.
Yeah.
And the 8 horse is 11%, 90 plus with a positive ROI. 4 for 9 at Laurel, 3 for 7 at the distance, and won his last 2 off 2 months layoffs. So this is a little bit longer than that. It'll
be interesting, this first quarter of a mile between the outside of 2. Susan's Mule, stick with the colors, both very fast. They can heat it up on the front end. I think I'm gonna target a horse from just off of it. I think Cuz You're Pretty as a user, got in a lot of trouble down at Colonial. A stat here for the 3, My Flicker. You talked about a little bit hang on the money, but Brittany Russell, hard to disregard.
Yep.
3rd after this kind of a layoff, 180 to 365 days. About 5 for the last 11, 45% strike rate, and an ROI of 262.
But will be bet.
Will be bet. Not what you want.
Here.
The more I look at it, I mean, Devil Pays in Gold, you're right. She came back very well. Kieran second off this kind of break is good too. So I think you're going to get some value. Maybe Spencerian at an okay number. So that's a look at the first 6. Stanley Bablish here on set for Preakness Preview Day. The handicapping challenge going on this afternoon at Laurel Park. Just the Laurel Park card. You still got time to get involved, right? It's a $500 buy-in. You can still walk-ups welcome until 1 p.m. So please, if you haven't gotten here yet, come on out and join us. Let's take a little commercial break. We'll get back to look at race 7. All right, we're back at today at the races. Stanley Bablish. I'm Keith Houston with Equibase. He's the NHC Hall of Famer, so we've got a good one on set this afternoon. We're going to kick off stakes action here. We've got 5. The Dahlia Stakes goes here in race 7. The Chesapeake Pick 6. Scratch the main track only. Skip through the fire. As we talk about Chesapeake Pick 6 starts in race 7 today. 20-cent minimum wager, a jackpot wager. And hopefully you can take it down. But looking at the Dahlia, you were talking about no value here in Sparkle Blue. But looking at the format, though, sometimes, will you take a strong favorite and work doubles and exactas?
Almost never.
Never, okay.
Almost. If I don't like them, right? And again, I have a history, as I've said, with favorites. It's just not my thing, right? I'm always looking for a little bit better price. So.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Sparkle Blue, we're gonna take a look at her because she's going to be very popular in the Dahlia Stakes. We're going to go back to her return try down at Tampa, and she was, I think, just a little bit keyed up and down from the inside this particular afternoon for trainer Graham Motion. She's going to go second off the bench today. She gets early pole, but just doesn't quite settle maybe as you'd like. A little bit, I wouldn't say rank at all, just a little keen. And she eventually does get settled. They went a little slower in front of her, 48-2, 12-3. And, that field just kind of gets away. She gets to a hustling ride here at the 5/16. The last 1/8 of a mile, Stanley, you're going to watch this video. I don't know if you've checked it out. She just does not follow through. The number works, the 86 buyer. She may work on your figures, but in tournament time, she's not going to work for you today. I'm going to throw her into the mix. I think she is the horse to beat. She's going to have some speed to target in horses like Dice Surprise, 19 Amendment, obviously Cut from Class, who finished the year with some really good races and was just narrowly beaten by Sparkle Blue last year in the Big Dreyfus. Who do you like? It's just a couple of bigger numbers. You don't have to,
Well, again, Joe Sharp ships in. Yeah. His turf record's five races, 1 win, 3 seconds. The 5 horse, he's got a hot trainer with a positive ROI. Dirt to turf, 2 for 4 on turf. The 7 seems legit. 1 for 1 at Laurel, 6 for 14 turf, 2 for 2 at the distance, and the 9, 15% trainer.
Yeah.
All right. 8 for 9 in the money on turf.
You talked about Tufani. Let's look at her most recent race down at the fairgrounds. She's about as steady as they come. And when you're looking at her and a PPs in this situation, we're kind of getting a little bit later in the card. What kind of number are you going to demand on a horse like Tufani? You're going to see her finish up well to the outside here. A good run, just beaten about a length and change down at the fairgrounds.
Again, if you're looking at 5 to 2, 3 to 1, I wouldn't go any lower. I wouldn't go 2 to 1, right? Because that 2 horse should be the favorite. So
yeah, I agree completely. I think Sparkle Blue, Dan's got her line just right there at about 6 to 5. Tufani, second choice. But it's interesting. You mentioned the surprise will be a big number in race number 7. Let's turn to the eighth race, the King T Leatherberry Stakes. The King, gotta love him. Yeah, geez, 5.5 on the turf. The Dahlia course, some scratches in here. Horse, I kind of liked it a little bit of a number. 2, great idea. Scratch the 3, Prince of Jericho. Scratch the 9, had to have him, and the 11, Incinerator. Let's go right to the video spotlight horse. This is another horse, again, probably going to be a little bit too short of a price. Yeah, and that's right. We got Max Ticket. Hey, I'm rolling right along here. 12% takeout as well on the value pick 5, so do not miss out. We're having too much fun, Stanley.
Yes.
Here's Max Ticket, race 8. She's going to give you 4 in here. This is a tough race. I mean, you got some of these scratches. 4, 6, 7, and 10. Determined Kingdom, if he brings that race prior to the break, it could be lights out, but she goes 4 deep in there. Race 9 with the 1 and the 7. Reply and Moon Cash. 2 deep in race number 10 with the 4 and the 7. Neat, your 5 to 2 morning line favorite in the Henry S. Clark. Race 11, the Federico Tezio. 1, 9, and 10. Surfside Moon Pay Billy, just a fair shake. Wraps it up. Race 12 with the 1 and the 7. Kickstartness and Supreme Song. Scratch the other part of the entry, the 1A Walkaway Joe, and the 6 Mr. Jefferson in race number 12. That's a $48 ticket for Mackenzie Piper. Here we go, back to the Leatherberry. Let's go to the video. Thanks, guys, of Determined Kingdom. In that race, let's see, back at Keeneland, October 25th. This was a really good effort. A top number sprinting, a 99 buyer. Inside works out to go ahead and split rivals. It's going to win this one going away by a couple. Trained by Phil Shellenthal this day. This horse went up for sale and was purchased out of that sale by our Larry Johnson. Unfortunately, we lost Larry a couple months ago. They were targeting this horse, and his wish was to have some really good horses down at Colonial. This is a really nice horse, and we're wishing nothing but the best, the spirit here of our Larry Johnson with Determined Kingdom. Here's a stat for Tromby, though. With this trainer switch into the barn of Mike Trombetta, first after 120 to 180 days, 7 for the last 27, 26% hit rate, 417 ROI. Was really good there, and this is a horse, positional speed, can stay. What kind of trip do you envision for Determined Kingdom?
Again, he looks to be dominant here, right? Okay. The only knock that I have on him, he's a 6-year-old now, and he's been off for almost 6 months.
Yeah.
So you just never know how they come back. But again, on numbers and everything else, he looks dominant.
Yeah, I know he really liked that trip, and today it looks like he could be outside of 4 Harp, having to press out. 4 Harp can stretch you a long way over this turf course. Looking for anybody, looking at some of the closers. You got a horse that I like as well, you're mentioning. When I Get to Heaven for Nolan Ramsey.
Absolutely. Yep. And again, 24% hot trainer, right?
Yep.
With a positive ROI, 74 cents, right? Has back numbers, 3 for 7 at Laurel, 4 for 16 at the distance, 1 off the layoff, right? The 1 has big pace, right? And I just added the 8 because I had to pick somebody.
Yeah, and we'll throw a stat up for Swill. You're going to add that one in there, Swill?
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got the Hugh McMahon, first after 120 to 180 day layoff. 3 for the last 13, 23%. Look at that ROI, 677. The Leatherberry, a really, really good race. Whitty going to try to defend his crown. We talked about his brother a little bit earlier in the card. He's going to try to work that same angle off the layoff, dirt to turf, back sprinting. A good run winning this last year to get up very wide, a little drift, but sustain. He likes a little flow. Sometimes, again, he's a horse getting out of the gate can be a little bit sluggish, a deeper closer. I thought the turf course played fair. He'll have a target in 4 Harp, and a couple of these others are going to be close. We'll see if he can get up in time.
Merriman, 29%, 90 days plus.
Okay, I like that. I like that. Let's go to the 9th. Let's go to the Weber City Miss at 1 mile and a 16th, 150,000 guaranteed. These are the 3-year-old fillies. This is a winning and you're in to the Black-Eyed Susan. This is also pick 4 time, late pick 4, 9, 10, 11, and 12. One of my better plays. I like the cat out of the bag. I like Moon Cash in here. You've got this one as one of your users. I thought her race last time was really good. Let's go to the video. Safe Trust, Moon Cash. Now, Safe Trust has had a race since, but we're going to go back to the Beyond the Wire stakes where they were sizzling up front. You don't really see these kind of internals too often going the 1-turn mile for the 3-year-old fillies. 23, 45, and 3, maybe a little wind dating, picking it up in 10, but Moon Cash makes a very sharp move. This was first off the claim for trainer Michael Gorham, who's had a really good run of like the last few months here at Laurel Park. Does the dirty work, gets the lead, goes clear. Just unfortunately, maybe just a little weary after moving into that, but she holds game. Just a drift late and some contact, with Safe Trust. Tough defeat here, but man, I thought she ran lights out.
Absolutely, and again, it comes down to the 2 of them again. I think, right? The one ran a big race at Colonial, but I'm hoping that was kind of a fluke. It's rare that you can get a mile in your first start. Very few trainers are able to do that, and he did a great job of doing it. But I'm against him. And the long shot, I'm looking at the 3, 17%, 46 plus.
Okay, yeah, a horse. It looks to be part of the flow. A late night call. We saw Niall Seville pull off a really big upset in the opener yesterday, wire to wire on the turf. We're going to try the dirt here today. Safe Trust did come back out of the Beyond the Wire, shortened up just a few days ago, right? Not that long ago,
right.
And really kind of got that flow. Looked like she was kind of going nowhere. Got outside and leveled off the last 1/8 of a mile. She going back to 2 turns. I just think Mooncash can get the jump again. I like that effort. Reply was really good in debut. An inside-out trip after a little early adversity. Let's see if she can kind of pair up jumping in the stakes company this afternoon. Stanley, 1, 3, 6, 7 in race 9. That's the users. I go 7, 6, 1, 4, like Mooncash for Mike Gorham. Mike Gorham could have a nice day today. We'll talk about Pay Billy in a little bit. Let's turn to the Henry S. Clark Stakes on the all-along turf course at 1 mile. The whole field stays in. This is a really, really good race. Your morning line favorite is the 4, Neat, who's kind of been traveling all over the place. Kentucky Downs, Keeneland, out to Santa Anita, back to the fairgrounds for training, Keeneland, you name it. Neat, too short of a price for you, it looks like.
Yeah, exactly. He's a legit favorite, I'd say. Not my kind of favorite, right? The jockey's 0 for his last 9. Altris is 0 for 12, right? He's got a little angle on sprints, but just not for me.
Okay, yeah, I had read some of the press releases. He had talked about he went out, took this one out to Santa Anita looking for a little bit more firmer ground. Didn't seem like he quite got it. Second off of a break, back into straight company. This horse is going against graded the last couple of races. He's been competitive. You're right, a shorter price. Okay, looking for something maybe that 6-8 to 1 range. Who we liking?
Yeah, again, the 7-horse, hot trainer, positive trainer angle, 27%, 46 plus, 2 for 7 at the distance. The 8-horse, you've got 3 for 7 on turf. With back class. The 6 is 1 for 1 on turf. Comes from the clouds in his last race, and ships up here for a good purse. And the 2 just switch trainers, right? Distance. These 5 races, 2 seconds, 2 wins. Positive trainer switch. Again, first start with trainer.
I think this is a race where the road is probably going to go through Ocean City. This wouldn't be a bad place to do that. You say you used to go to Ocean Downs a little bit and play the points. Reported first time gelding for Brittany Russell. Speed. I think Hammer possibly could go. Card Trick is another horse that will kind of try to track and make that move into it. Let's take a look at the 8. You talked about Mischievous Angel for Georgia Abreu with Paco Lopez today. We go to a race, a video spotlight, a couple races back on the page, going back to September at Kentucky Downs. What do you think about the horses that come off of this surface? Do you like it or not?
Again, I love Kentucky Downs. The reality is they hadn't been coming back and winning. Right? You look at Turfway. A lot of horses have coming off of Turfway.
Yeah.
And winning at Keeneland.
Yeah.
So again, you've got to. It's year specific. I think it's just the horses that are running, and maybe it wears them out because it's a different conformation and difficult to run uphill.
Yeah.
I don't know what the reason is, but
he came back and he ran flat.
Yep.
Just like you called it. The mile could be stretching a little bit. It'll be interesting, but the stat gives us a little bit of hope.
Yep.
Abreu sprint the route 3 for the last 12, 25%. I'm looking at the breeding. I think this is a horse he's going to maybe need to find a little bit of cover to take him a little further, maybe say from the 3/8 to the 3/16. Almost want this horse boxed in and then work outward and try to make a run from there, find a scene in the 10th.
But hopefully the price is right.
Yeah. So 7-9, a degree of risk I'm going to use. Well, that's not my numbers. I'm going to have to go back on that. I might have given you some wrong numbers there. I'm 4-8-6-7. That's my bad in race number 10. I'm going to fall for the favorite a little bit, but I'm going to use some prices here. I think Mischievous Angel and degree of risk. At that 8-1, the way I like to play maybe 1 or 2 horses, key 'em top and bottom, and exactas with a couple horses. The value lies, I believe, with degree of risk, Mischievous James. I thought Signator for Shug McGahee ran really big in turf debut last time. I worked through a couple different little spots of traffic to get up. Very determined effort with Sammy Marin McGahee. You always respect him when he comes to town. Let's go to the 11. The Federico Tezio Stakes, the 3-year-olds, the boys going 1 mile and an 1/8, a win and you're into the Preakness. Field stays, a field of 10. Let's get right to the video spotlight. Surfside Moon, I think, will take plenty of play for Chucky Lawrence. This is a big effort. Jumped up kind of out of nowhere numbers-wise to you?
Yep, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, this was a race. I don't know if we saw this coming. 33-1 behind Captain Cook, who came back to run a 91 next out in the wood. But this horse works a trip. Stalked early and actually gets the lead momentarily there at the quarter pole. I thought held very well. Look at this guy to the wire, really running on. If this is what we're going to see today, he could be really dangerous.
Yep. But again, if you didn't go to the wedding, don't go to the funeral.
That's it.
Right? You're not getting 33-1. You're going to get 3-1 or 5-2.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just he's legit, but not for me.
Yeah, there's a horse in here, the 5 Kentucky Outlaw. I've heard some whispers. This horse has got some talent. A little bit maybe difficult to ride. I've watched the race again. His most recent race, a little headstrong through the first possibly quarter of a mile. Finally settled. Really never challenged in his races. What do you make of the 5 Kentucky Outlaw now coming off Lasix in the Tezio? He's 2 for 2.
I was wondering if you were listening to me whispering.
Okay.
That's I've got him on top.
Okay.
Right? So nothing wrong in 2 races.
All right.
And again, until he gets beat. And again, if you can get that kind of price,
Mm-hmm.
because the others look like they're going to bang together. You know what I mean? The 9 horse and the 7 horse, right? 9's a legit favorite, no knocks.
Mm-hmm.
The 7 usually gets a piece, and the only other one that I can say I could use underneath probably is a 10 horse. He's eligible to improve off that one off a layoff.
Good to see Studley do right back. I think he was against the grain a little bit. He was trying down at Colonial Downs. Sacred Thunder, I think, offers value with Paco Lopez. This is a horse I think crying out for 1 mile and 1/8. He's just a grinder. So this run, it'll be interesting to see. Will Pay Billy and Raumena, let Kentucky Outlaw get away. I think he might have to move a little sooner. Let's see if they get involved. If they do, say 3/8 pole.
Sure.
I think the grinding style at Sacred Thunder could put them in the mix when they get to the wire in the Federico Tezio. 23 minutes until post time. We rolled through this pretty good, Stanley.
Yes, sir.
Up to the 12th. Race 12 beating Claimer 75-6 at 1 mile and a 16th. Scratch part of the entry, the 1A Walkaway Joe and the 6 Mr. Jefferson. This is get out time for everybody, I guess, right?
Yes,
so
sir.
Southern District is a horse I'm going to look at. I think the price is really going to fall now, though. I'm going to need a little help. I do think Kickstartness is going to go and entertain energy efficient to 3. Blinkers on and last. We'll have blinkers again today. That was my snafu. I must have missed that one. But anyhow, looking for Southern District to kind of pull that inside-out trip in the nightcap.
Yep. I'm looking at the 3 and the 4, right?
Okay.
The 3 goes back to a fast track.
Mm-hmm.
He's got speed. He's got a shot.
Yeah.
Again, I'm hoping I can get some sort of price on these horses.
Yeah.
If I'm really stuck and just box maybe the 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, I think you're going to get it on the 3. I mean, you see the comment.
Yep.
Last time out, toss, head, start, 2 races back, slam break. Just needs a clean break today. Yep. And you got yesterday's a very capable allowance rider at Laurel Park carrying the 7-pound allowance.
You got that 4 horse at 4 for 16 at Laurel and 5 for 15 at the distance. There's nothing wrong with them. Again, these are cheap horses, and they take their turns beating each other. So.
All right, good stuff, good stuff. That's 12 of them. We roll right through that card. I give you one kind of best play, a little bit of value maybe on today's race card. I like Moon Cash. I think she ran really, really well last time. That's going to be race 9. Yeah, number 7 Moon Cash at a 5-1 morning line. Made that run into the teeth of a very quick pace, got the lead. Just unfortunate DQ and drifting a little bit. Stanley Bavish, thanks again for coming out. Great to meet you. A lot of good stories. This guy, I guess you've got the bullseye on your back here, huh? Any defending champ, Hall of Famers.
There's a lot of good
today.
people at this tournament.
Yeah.
You come on out and play.
Oh, man, they're really, really good. And again, still sign up until 1 o'clock. The walk-ups are welcome, $500 cash. 21 minutes now until post time for this great 12 race card. Thanks for joining us. Up to Dave Rodman for some changes and scratches.